Racial slur, alleged threat to execute man. Watch most outrageous moments from this damn Senate candidate. Published May 14, 2024. The Democrat frontrunner in one of this year's top Senate races is no stranger to controversy. Republican David Thorne, who is running to replace retiring Senator Ben Cardin in Maryland and faces a tough primary challenge on Tuesday, has frequently been caught making some truly wild statements, both as a candidate and member of Congress, as well as working in the private sector. From using a racial slur to allegedly threaten to execute someone, here are 5 of Thorne's wackiest moments. Number 1, using a racial slur during a House hearing. Thorne dropped a disparaging term for black people while speaking during a House Budget Committee hearing about tax policy on March 21st with Shalonda Young, the director of the Office of Budget and Management, who was testifying before the committee. So this Republican jigaboo that it's the tax rate that's stopping business investment is just completely faulty by people who have never run a business, he said. They've never been there. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. So he called this black woman a jigaboo, and he's a politician. And how is he able to still be able to run for office? You can't make this shit up. But yet and still, you got people saying there's no racism and it doesn't exist. And you got politicians openly racist while running for a Senate seat. My goodness. Thorne attempted to play cleanup following his use of the word, telling Fox News Digital he misspoke while trying to use a different word. No, he said what he meant. Today, while attempting to use the word bugaboo in a hearing, I used a phrase that is offensive. That word has a long, dark, terrible history. It should never be used anytime, anywhere, any conversation, Thorne said. I recognize that as a white man, I have privilege, and as an elected official, I have a responsibility for the words I use, especially in the heat of the moment, regardless of what I meant to say. I shouldn't have used that language, he added. A number of black lawmakers subsequently chose not to endorse him, including Representatives Barbara Lee, Democrat California, Yvette Clarke, Democrat New York, Gregory Meeks, Democrat New York, Joyce Beatty, Democrat Ohio, and Jasmine Crockett, Democrat Texas, who all announced their support for Thorne's Democratic primary opponent, Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks. I think that's how you pronounce that. Number 2, screaming at a reporter when pressed on controversial remarks. Thorne went off last week on a reporter who pressed him concerning a controversial remark he made on social media about police. The tense exchange between Thorne and Fox 5 reporter Tom Fitzgerald happened during a campaign stop in Rockville, Maryland, when Thorne expressed his anger about the outlet's reporting from the previous day on his claim that an increased police presence doesn't make people feel safe. You should be ashamed of the journalism that you did yesterday, Thorne said as he approached the reporter who had just asked him about his widely panned ex-post focus on crime and policing. In the post, Thorne claimed the American justice system is systematically racist. Well, I agree with that, including himself, and that an increased police presence doesn't make everyone feel safe. Let's see if I could put the post. Let me get the post in there. Yeah, screenshot that real quick. I should be ashamed. I'm not ashamed, Congressman. Fitzgerald responded before Thorne accused him of cherry-picking lines out of the post. You took one line out of 20, and you should be ashamed of the type of journalism you're shilling. You're shilling for Larry Hogan, so keep shilling for Larry Hogan. Thorne railed against Fitzgerald, accusing him of advocating for his rival, former Republican Maryland Governor Hogan, who is also running for Senate. If you want to do that, feel free to, Shield. That's all I've got to say. Go back and read the whole section of tweets. It was very supportive of our police, Thorne said. Fitzgerald responded that he did read the entire tweet thread, but Thorne, before walking away, simply shot back, "You didn't. You didn't. And you're just making it up. You're just making it up, so thank you." 3, allegedly threatened to execute delivery worker. Thorne allegedly threatened to execute a delivery worker at a Total Wine in Tempe, Arizona, according to a 2021 police report first reported by the Spectator last year. The congressman, who had made millions as the co-founder of the retailer, allegedly threatened to fucking end delivery man Cody Horde while he was making a delivery at the location, the outlet reported. Heward called the police after a heated confrontation with Thorne, who was allegedly upset that merchandise was stacked on the floor. "I will fucking end you. I will execute you. Not on my payroll. I will end you right now," Thorne said, according to the report. Eyewitness confirmed Thorne yelling and threatening the man, but it's unclear if he was charged in the incident. What do you mean it's unclear? I mean, it's easy for you to find out. You know no charges was probably filed. Come on now, you're not being honest. Number 4, citing family's alcoholism, lack of indoor plumbing to relate to black voters. Thorne told a local reporter on Monday that he relates to black voters because of his family's struggles with alcoholism and because he grew up without indoor plumbing. What the hell they got to do with us? We need someone who actually speaks for us, someone who has our values. I went to public school. She went to private school. Someone that lived the life they did. I didn't even have indoor plumbing. We had an outhouse, Thorne said, taking a jab at Elsa Brooks, who is black. I grew up in a family that was destroyed by alcoholism, destroyed. So we grew up in a tough circumstance and things weren't easy, but at the end of the day, we became successful, he added. The reporter asked Thorne if that was the story he believed would help him resonate with black voters, to which he said clearly. Number 5, berating campaign staff over scheduling issues. Thorne blasted members of his campaign staff in 2017 over a scheduling issue. Local Maryland outlet, a minor detail, reported in June the following year. Campaign staffers leaked the email which showed Thorne accusing them of being insubordinate and him upset that his wife, June, was asked to attend an event by then Campaign Policy Director Grace Rivera Oven that he determined was a waste of her time. Grace explained to her Thursday that she would attend and that she is needed, and therefore she got up at 6 a.m. with me, went to the breakfast against my direct request to you guys, Thorne wrote. While I certainly could have left her home, I allowed her to go, given you felt so strongly about it. The way it has to work in life is that the boss says we are not doing something, we don't do it, he wrote. If you disagree, that is great. Contact the boss, tell him your reasons, and I am happy to change my mind. But it is passive aggressive. It is wrong. It is insubordinate for you to do whatever you want. And even more so when it comes to someone who is my life. Thorne later suggested his staff could use a little common sense and courtesy and decency and good communication skills. Rivera later resigned from the campaign. Fox News Digital was reached out to Thorne's campaign for comment. Oh, this guy seems like a piece of work. Yeah. And he's running for Senate? Oh, my. Racism doesn't exist, huh? And you can look at him and tell. He's calling people jigaboos, and he want that old past to come back like many of them do, but that's never coming back. You say something now, you might get your head split. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.